Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Last session, we have started Suppliers Module. Today, we will start from Supplier Transactions Report. Okay, you can go to Suppliers Reports from Suppliers Reports, and after that, you can select the Supplier Transactions Report. From this report, we can generate supplier transaction for a particular period, and we can select suppliers, and we can select transaction types. First, you can, from date range, you can select the date range. You can select monthly, quarterly, yearly, or month to date, quarter to date, or last month, last quarter, last year. Or if you want to select any particular date range, you can select custom dates and you can select date range. And if you want to view all transactions, you can select all. For this example, we will view yearly transaction. So I select yearly. After you select any date range, you can view the from date and to date. Okay, I have selected yearly, therefore this will display our financial year. Next, you can select suppliers, and you can select range of suppliers. Or if you don't select any supplier, system will display all suppliers transactions. Next, supplier category. If you have different supplier categories, if you want, you can select supplier category wise report. Then system will display only these supplier category transactions. If you don't select any supplier category, system will display all suppliers or all supplier category transactions. Next, status. Sometimes you may have inactive suppliers. In that case, if you want to view only inactive suppliers, you can select inactive. Or if you want to view active suppliers only, you can select active. Or you can select both active and inactive. Okay. I'll quickly show how to set or how to inactivate supplier. Go to suppliers list of suppliers. Now here you can see active column. If you don't have active column, you can, by clicking this customize grid, you can add that column to your grid. From here, you can take this active. After that, you can save. Now this supplier is inactivated customer supplier. If you want to inactivate any other supplier, you can open that supplier. After that, you can untick this tick box. Then that supplier will inactivate it. Furthermore, when we are discussing company settings, go to company, change company settings, general settings, customer and supplier settings. Here also you can see this sixth one, display inactive suppliers for selection when reports. If you take this option, when you are selecting suppliers, you can select that inactivated suppliers. If you untick this option, display inactive suppliers for selection on reports, you cannot select inactivated suppliers. Okay. When you are doing that company settings, go to general settings, customer and supplier settings. Their settings display inactive suppliers for selection on report. If you take this option, you can select inactivated suppliers also when you are generating reports. However, if you untick this option, you cannot select inactivated suppliers for the reports. Right. Next, transaction type. There are a few transaction types: supplier adjustment, supplier invoice, supplier opening balance, supplier payment, and supplier returns. You can select any particular transaction type and generate the report, or you can, without selecting any transaction type, you can generate the report. After you set these filters, you can click View Report. Then system will display the transactions. Okay, system will first display the supplier name, opening balance as at this from date, then transactions, closing balance, and movement for the period. Closing balance as at our to date. Opening balance as at start date or from date. Closing balance as at end date or to date. Okay. Then transaction. If any debits or credits available, system will display debit or credit, and system will display the balance also. These transactions categorized by supplier, and each supplier opening balance, transactions, closing balance, and movement for the period you can view from the report. I'll copy this screen. And I'll change this setting. Last one, use foreign currency. If you tick this option, system will display transactions in supplier's currency. Okay, now you can see the first supplier is AED. Like that, if you see and dollar transactions also available. So if you tick this use foreign currency, system will display transactions in supplier's currency. And if you want to view in home currency or LKR, you can untick this option and refresh. Then all transactions will display in home currency. And also, if you untick that use foreign currency, you can view the grand total. If you take this option, use foreign currency, you cannot view grand total. Right, like that, you can generate supplier transactions report. And if you want to view only particular transaction type, for an example, if you want to view only invoices, you can select invoices and you can select supplier invoice and refresh. Then system will display only invoices only. Okay, next we will move to the next report. Supplier purchase orders. Here also you can select date range, and you can select suppliers. You can select supplier category. You can select active, inactive, or both suppliers. And from document status, you can select confirmed purchase orders, cancelled purchase orders, pending purchase orders, overdue purchase orders, and invoice purchase orders. Here also you can tick use foreign currency or untick. If you want to view supplier purchase orders in supplier's currency, you can tick this option. Or if you want to view in home currency, you can untick this option. After that, you can view report. Now from here, system will display list of purchase orders. You can view purchase order date, delivery date, reference, that document number, order number. If you enter any reference number, it will display here. Then supplier name, exclusive amount, tax amount, total amount with taxes, and status of that purchase order. Now some purchase orders invoice, that means they have delivered the goods and they have sent the invoices, and there are some overdue invoices and pending purchase orders, overdue purchase orders and pending purchase orders. I'll select all and refresh. Next, if you untick this option, use foreign currency, here also you can view grand total. And also you can view this supplier purchase orders list from supplier transactions. Go to suppliers, transactions, supplier purchase orders. From here also you can generate the same report. And here also I think you can remember status, invoice, pending, overdue, cancelled. Invoice means we have sent the purchase orders, supplier delivered the goods, and supplier has sent the invoices. Overdue means we have sent the purchase order. However, now we have passed that or that delivery date expired. Therefore, it's overdue. Pending is we have sent the purchase order. However, we haven't reached the delivery date. Confirmed is we have sent the purchase order and supplier confirmed that they will deliver the goods. And cancelled is we have sent the purchase order. Due to any reason, supplier has cancelled the purchase order. Okay, those status available here. And also this report you can generate from here also. You can download to CSV file by clicking the CSV, export to CSV. And you can add columns from this customized grid. And you can sort by supplier name, document number, date, like that. You can sort that supplier purchase orders grid. Right. Next report is supplier purchase orders by supplier. You can select suppliers, active, inactive. You can select supplier category, and you can select date range, and you can select summary or detail, and status you can select confirmed, cancelled, pending, overdue, invoiced, purchase order. Use foreign currency tick available. After that, you can view the report. Okay, now here you can view supplier purchase orders by supplier report. Here you can view date or supplier plus supplier, then purchase order date, delivery date, reference number, status, quantity, total quantity in that purchase order, and purchase order value. Okay, like this, you can generate the supplier orders by supplier report. And previously we generated supplier purchase orders. Now we generated supplier purchase orders by supplier. Okay, previously we generated supplier purchase orders. Now we generated supplier purchase orders by supplier. the difference between those two reports is, now first one, supplier purchase orders report. This is a list of purchase orders. Okay, this is a list of purchase orders. However, now this report, supplier purchase orders by supplier report, is now this report categorized by supplier name. Okay, you can see supplier name available. After that, purchase orders. Then next supplier purchase orders, and supplier purchase orders report. Okay, like that you can generate this supplier purchase orders by supplier report. Right. Next, we will move to supplier invoices. Now, from the supplier invoice report, we can generate supplier's invoice report. You can select date range, and you can select suppliers. You can select supplier category, and you can select status. Active, inactive, or both suppliers. Next, supplier returns. Now, if you tick this option, supplier returns, then system will include that supplier returns to this report. Okay. Now, sometimes after supplier deliver goods to you, you may return those goods due to that goods are expired, or sometimes that goods are damaged. Therefore, due to some reasons, you will return that delivered goods. Therefore, for that, you can enter supplier return. And if you want to include that returns into the supplier invoice report, you can take this option. And also, if you want to view the transactions in foreign currency or supplier's currency, you can take this option. After that, you can view report. After you click that report, you can view this report. You can view supplier invoices report. Suppliers, you can view categories and date range. Then in this report, you can view date, document number, supplier invoice number, supplier, due date for payment. If your supplier is giving credit period, system will display the due date, and anticipated payment date. If you promise to supplier pay in a particular date, you can view that anticipated payment date. Then after that, exclusive amount without tax, tax amount, total purchases, inclusive tax amount, and total outstanding for that supplier invoice. Now here also, you can see some amounts in dollars or in other currencies, AED. So if you want to view all transactions in home currency, you can untick this option. After that, you can refresh. Then you can view the grand total. Furthermore, now here you can see document number. It's mostly SIV. And here you can see RTA number, and that values is minus. That means this is a return, supplier return. Okay. And if you want to include supplier returns into this report, you can tick this option. Then those returns, if supplier returns are available, it will display in this report. Right. I'll quickly go through how to add anticipated payment date. You can go to supplier transactions, supplier invoices, and open that supplier invoice, go to options, select anticipated payments, click add, and you can select anticipated payment date and you can save. Okay, now you can see that anticipated payment date added to this column. Okay, next we will move to next report. Supplier unallocated payments. You can select date range and you can select supplier category. You can select status, active, inactive. You can select include supplier returns and adjustments. And if you want to view in supplier's foreign currency, supplier's currency, you can tick this option and view report. Okay, from here, you can view unallocated payments report. Okay, from this report, you can view supplier unallocated payment reports. The main advantage of this supplier unallocated payment report is now when you are generating your supplier outstanding. Okay, now here there are some cash. We will open that cash supplier outstanding. Go to suppliers, reports, supplier balances, days outstanding, and date you can select, and I'll select cash supplier. I'll select PW Holdings, and I'll select detail. Right now, I have opened that I have generated this days outstanding report. In this report, you can see there are some minus values and plus values, that is payments and invoices. Now, when you are generating this report, outstanding report, there are several payments and there are some invoices. Because we haven't allocated our payments to invoices. Okay, now if you want to view whether we have any unallocated payments, you can generate from this report and go to that supplier and allocate those payments. Okay, now when you are generating outstanding report, sometimes there may be payments and invoices both. Okay, now after we done the payment, we have to allocate it to our unallocated invoices. So if we miss or if we forgot to allocate that payment to invoices, or sometimes we may pay advances before the invoice. So in that case, when we are generating our outstanding report, there may be payments and invoices. So if you take that report, it's very lengthy report. So you can get accurate report after allocating these payments to invoices. Okay. So if you want to view, is there any unallocated payments, you can view from this supplier unallocated payment reports. After that, you can view. Now for an example, this supplier has unallocated payment. You can go to, I'll duplicate this screen. You can go to suppliers, transactions, allocate payments, and you can go to supplier and refresh. And from here, you can allocate your unallocated payment to suppliers. Then that allocated payments will not display in this unallocated payment report. And also when you are generating supplier outstanding report, it will display only outstanding amounts. Okay. The main purpose of this unallocated supplier unallocated payment report is we can generate or we can view what are the unallocated payments. Okay, right. Now there are previously we discussed this supplier invoices report, and also you can generate that supplier invoice reports from suppliers transactions supplier invoice. Here from this grid you can down export to CSV file, and also you can add columns from this customized grid, and you can sort by these headings, and you can sort by ascending or descending order. And there are few status: unpaid, partially paid, overdue, paid. Paid is we have paid to that supplier, and amount due is 0. And overdue is supplier has sent the invoice, we haven't paid, and due date also expired. If supplier is giving any credit period, we have used that credit period also, and if that credit period also exceeded, the status will change to overdue. Now unpaid is we haven't paid, and due date not yet reached. And also partially paid. Now here you can see second invoice, total invoice value is 24,300, amount due is 13,500. That means we have paid, partially paid to that supplier, therefore the status will change to partially paid. Right. And also these all reports you can export to PDF, Excel, CSV, and if you want you can print this report, or you can email this report. Right. Next we will go to next report. Email sent to suppliers. Now from the system you can directly email your purchase orders to your suppliers. Go to purchase orders, and from actions you can email, and from this report, email sent to suppliers report, you can view what are the emails you have sent to your suppliers. You can select if you want you can filter by supplier, or you can select active or inactive or both suppliers. You can select supplier categories, and from report options you can select the date range. After that you can view report. Okay, now here you can see email sent to suppliers report. You can view the date range from date to date and number of pages. Here you can view date, the transaction date, sent from, sent to which supplier, and recipient email address, type, the transaction type, and document number. If you want, you can click this document number and you can view the that document. And also when you are generating other reports also, by clicking that transaction, you can go to the, or you can view the source document. Okay, by clicking this transaction, you can drill down or you can view the source document. Right. Now we have completed the supplier reports. Next, we will move to supplier adjustment or adjust opening balances. Go to suppliers, special, select adjust opening balances. Okay, now when we enter, you can enter supplier opening balances when you are creating the supplier. Go to suppliers, click add supplier, and from here you can enter supplier opening balance, and also you can enter opening balances from this company section and go to add suppliers. We will discuss when we are going to this when we discuss this company settings or company module. From here you can enter supplier opening balance. Okay, now however you need to enter supplier opening balances if you are implementing the system for all company. Okay, now you can implement the system for all company or new company. So if you are implementing for all company, you can enter your supplier opening balances. Okay. And after you enter supplier opening balances, due to some audit reason or due to some any other reason, or sometimes you have incorrectly enter opening balances, you need to change supplier opening balances. Okay, when you are implementing the system, you can enter the opening balance. However, if you want to change the opening balance, you can use this special option and you can change the opening balance. Okay, go to suppliers, special, select adjust opening balances. After that, you can select the supplier. After you select the supplier, if that supplier has opening balance, it will display under current opening balance. And if you want to change the opening balance, you can enter new opening balance. And you can select the opening balance as a date, and you need to enter reason why you are changing this opening balance. Without reason, you cannot save this opening balance. Therefore, you need to enter reason, the reason why you are changing this opening balance. After that, you can save. Okay, like that. If you want to change supplier opening balances, you can use this special option and select adjust opening balances, and you can change the supplier opening balance. Okay, now we have completed supplier module. I'll quickly go through the supplier module. First, how to create suppliers. You can go to suppliers, click add a supplier. And from here, you can enter supplier name, supplier category, supplier opening balance as a date, credit limit. If this supplier is a tax registered supplier, you can enter the supplier tax number. And next, auto allocate payments to all dust invoices. If you take this option, when you are entering any supplier payment, system will allocate that payment to all dust invoice. If you want to select manually that selecting invoice, you can untick this option. Next, postal address, physical address. If you enter postal address, you can copy from physical address, and also you can view from Google Map. And after that, you can enter contact details, contact name, email, telephone, mobile, fax, web address. And if you enter any email address here, you can directly email your purchase orders to your suppliers. Next, default settings. If your supplier is giving regular discounts, you can enter that discount rate here. And however, when you are entering transaction, that time you can change this discount percentage. And if supplier is a tax registered supplier, you can select the tax rate. And if supplier giving credit period, you can enter credit period here. And sometimes you may have foreign suppliers. In that case, you can select supplier's currency from here. Next activity, I'll open supplier with transactions. You can move to activity tab. From here, you can view suppliers open imbalance, supplier adjustment, supplier invoices, supplier returns, supplier payments, including discount and balance. And by clicking this detail button, you can view or you can drill down that transactions. Now here also you can view that supplier invoices. If you want to view the source document, you can click this detail and you can view the transaction. Next, additional contact. If you want to add more contacts, now here you can enter supply contact details here. If you want to add more contacts, you can enter here, and by clicking this plus mark, you can add more contacts. Next, banking details. You can enter bank details here. Supplier bank details and notes. If you want to add any notes, you can add here. After that, when you reach this action date, it will display in the dashboard. You can view from to-do list. Next, user-defined fields. If you want to add more details in addition to these details, you can use this user-defined fields and you can enter details here, and you can customize these labels, or you can rename these labels from company settings. Go to company, change company settings, user-defined fields, select supplier, and from here you can rename your user-defined labels name. Next, personal information. You can change that retention period, how many period you will keep the supplier details. Actually, this is due to Data Protection Act. If you want, you can extend this date range. Next, purchase graph. You can view purchase graphs. You can view monthly purchases, and you can compare with last year and this year. Next, purchase orders. You can view supplier purchase orders. Unpaid invoices. Report layouts. If you have different purchase order layouts, you can select that layout from here. Right. Next, we will move to list of suppliers from here. Here also you can create or you can add suppliers by clicking add a supplier. And you can view list of suppliers, supplier name, category, supplier balance, supplier credit limit, and contact details. And if you want to customize, you can customize here. You can search or you can filter suppliers from here. Next, supplier categories. from here, you can add category and you can link that category to supplier. Next, supplier transactions. You can create supplier purchase orders by clicking this add supplier purchase order. And you can create supplier invoices. And if you have enter supplier purchase orders, you can convert that purchase order to supplier invoice. And from here, you can enter supplier invoices. And if that supplier has purchase orders, you can select from this list. And also, if you have any additional charges, when you are purchasing that goods, if you have additional charges or additional cost, by clicking this add additional cost, you can add additional cost. Okay, from here you can, such as insurance, transport, clearing charges, you can add from here. If you add this additional cost, it will allocate to your item average cost. Okay. You can see that additional cost. And also, if you are using analysis codes, this analysis code, you can link that analysis code to the supplier invoice. Then you can generate analysis code wise report. Okay. For an example, if you have departments or branches, or if you want to view area wise profitability reports or transactions, you can create analysis codes, and you can link that analysis code when you enter transactions. Right. Next, supplier returns. If you return goods back to your supplier, you can enter supplier return. And also you can convert that supplier invoice to supplier return. Next, supplier payments. You can add supplier payments here. Select supplier. After you select the supplier, you can view all supplier outstanding, and you can enter payment amount. If you are paying check, you can enter check number under reference. You can select bank account, that depositing account. And from payment method, you can select cash, check, credit card, or EFT. EFT is electronic fund transfer. After that, you can process this supplier payment, or you can print this supplier payment. Next, supplier adjustment. Sorry, allocate payment. Allocate payments. Now, sometimes when you are enter your supplier payment, you forget to allocate to supplier invoice, or sometimes you may enter supplier payments before the supplier invoice. In that case, you cannot allocate supplier payments to invoices. Then later, after you enter invoice, you can allocate payment to your supplier invoice. Now, main advantage of this allocation is when you are generating outstanding report, it will display only outstanding invoices only. If you haven't allocate, system will display both supplier payment and supplier invoice. Therefore, it's better to allocate your supplier payments to your invoices. Next, supplier adjustments. Sometimes you may need to allocate or adjust, or you may need to change your supplier balances. In that case, you can use this process supplier adjustment, and you can select the supplier. From effect, you can increase or decrease your supplier balance. You can view supplier balance here, and you can select by affecting account, and you can enter amount, and you can process the transaction. If you want to increase supply balance, you can select increase, or if you want to decrease the supply balance, you can select decrease. If you select decrease, you can see the unpaid invoices, and you can allocate that decrease amount to supplier invoice. Right. Next, we will move to reports. You can view list of suppliers. And you can generate supply outstanding report. You can view summary report or detailed report. If you want, you can view report in supplier's currency, or if you want to view in local currency, you can view, or you can untick this option. After that, yeah, you can view the report. Next, you can view supplier statements, supplier transactions, supplier purchase orders by supplier, supplier invoices report, and supplier unallocated report. Finally, you can generate emails sent to suppliers. Next, from special, you can adjust your supplier opening balances. Okay, from here, you can adjust supplier opening balances. You can select the supplier, and if you want to change, you can enter new opening balance, and you can enter the reason, and you can save. Right. Now we have completed the supplier module. We will take a short break. After that, we will move to customer module. Okay, let's move to Supplier customer module. Now, first, you can create a customer. Go to customer module and click add a customer. From here, you can enter customer details. First, you can enter customer name. And if you have different customer categories, you can select customer category, or you can create customer category from this add new category. The customer category mainly used for reporting purposes. If you have customer category, you can generate that customer category wise report. So if you have any customer categories, you can, by clicking this add new category, and you can add your customer category. Next, cash sale customer. If you tick this option, these fields will inactivated, because for cash customers, this postal address, contact details not required. Okay, if you want to add details, you can untick this option. Right. Next, opening balance. If you are implementing the system for all company, there may be customer opening balances. If you have this customer opening balance, you can enter customer opening balance and opening balance as at date. Next, if you are giving any credit limit for customer, you can add that credit limit. And if you are, when you are invoicing for that customer, if that credit limit exceeded, system will pop up a message. Next, tax reference. If your customer is a tax registered customer, you can enter tax reference number. And if you are assigning any sales rep to this customer, you can select that sales rep. However, you can change that sales rep name when you are processing the transaction. And also you can create new sales rep from by clicking this add new sales rep. You can enter sales rep first name, last name, email address, telephone number, and mobile number. Right. Next, auto allocate receipt to client oldest invoices. Now, if you tick this option, when you enter any payment to that, or when you enter any receipt for that customer, system will automatically allocate that receipt to oldest invoices. We have discussed this option or this feature when you are discussing supplier. So same way, if you enter any customer receipt, system will allocate that receipt to oldest invoices. Right. Next, exclude from debtors manager. Now there's a add-on module, debtors manager. You can activate that debtors manager from administration, go to my profile, click upgrade. And enter 1 for this debtors manager and click next and finish. Then your debtors manager module will activate. After that, you can go to debtors manager. Now, the main purpose of this debtors manager is you can automate sending supplier outstanding reminders. Now, from this workflow, you can add settings. Now, if you want to send a reminder, outstanding reminder, you can set dates and you can tick this send email. And next, invoice becomes overdue. You can send reminders. like that, you can automate your customer reminders. You can add dates. And like that, you can send reminders for overdue invoices, and you can send emails to those customers. And also if that customer becomes overdue, you can automatically hold that customer. Then your users cannot enter invoices for that customer. Okay, you can send invoice reminders. In addition to that, if you want to hold that customer, you can tick this option. Then your users cannot enter invoices for those customers. Right now, from this option, exclude from debtors manager, if you tick this option, that debtors manager settings will not apply for this customer, and system will not send invoice reminders, or system will not hold that customer, even that customer has overdue invoices. Next, new invoices on hold. If you tick this option, your users cannot enter invoices for this customer. Now, for an example, if that customer exceeded credit limit, or if that customer not paying properly, that administrator can hold that customer. Then your users cannot enter invoices for this customer. Next, you can enter customer postal address, customer physical address. And if you want to add to map, you can view that customer location by map, and you can deliver goods by using this map. And you can enter contact details, contact name, email address, telephone, mobile, fax number, web address. And also now from these settings, invoices can be viewed online, send invoice, outstanding invoice reminders, send overdue invoice reminders. Now, when you are setting your company settings, go to company, change company settings, customers on. Now here we have activated our customers on. If we activate it, customers can view their invoices, receipts, payments, transactions online. So if you enable that customers on from here, it will apply for all customers. So if you want to block viewing that invoices online, you can setting from these individual customers from here. Okay. Now, if you enable your customers on, all customers can view their statement online. So if you want to block any particular customer, you can block from here. Now, if you tick these invoices can be online, you can tick here, or send down outstanding reminders and overdue reminders. You can change from here also. Next, business registration number, GST verified date. Next, we will move to default setting. Now, after you create quotations, invoices, receipts, you can directly email those transactions to your customers. And also you can email your customer statements via email, print and email. Now, if you don't enter any email address here, please change this statement distribution method to print. Okay. If you don't select or don't enter any email address here, please select print as that statement distribution method. If you enter an email address, please select email. And if you don't enter any email address, please select print. Without entering email address, if you select email, you cannot save that customer. Okay. Next, default settings, default discount. If you are giving a regular discount to your customers, you can enter that discount percentage. Then when you enter transactions for that customer, system will automatically pop up this default discount rate. And when you enter transaction, if you want, you can change the discount percentage. Next, default price list. You can create different price lists for different customers. For example, for different customers, same item, if you are selling at a different price, you can create this price list. Now, for an example, for wholesale customers, a particular item, if you are selling at 100, for retail customers, you may sell at 150. Like that, if you have different prices for different customers, you can create price list, and you can link that price list to your customer. After that, when you are invoicing for that customer, relevant price list will display in the screen. Okay, invoice screen, it will display the relevant prices. Okay. For that, to select price list, first you need to create price list from company settings. Go to company, change company settings, general settings, item settings. From here, you can create price list. After you create price list, you can select your price list from here. Next, default tax type. If your customer registered for tax or VAT, you can select that VAT rate. Next, if you are giving credit period for your customers, you can enter the credit period for that customer. And when you are entering customer invoice, system will automatically calculate the due date. Next, currency. You may have local customers or foreign customers. So if you have foreign customers, you can select that customer's currency. Then when you are invoicing, system will display customer's currency. Right. After you enter these details, you can save the customer. And there are few tabs: activity, additional contacts, notes, user-defined fields, personal information, sales graph. Those details also you can fill. Okay. For explanation purposes, I'll open customer with transactions. Right. Now, these details you can fill, and activity will, these values will generate from the system. Okay. So you can view customer adjustments, customer opening balance, tax invoices, credit note, customer receipts including discount, customer balance, like that. You can view that details. I'll open different customer. Okay, now here you can view. Now, if you want to view detail, now for an example, this tax invoices have 1 million plus value. So if you want to view detail, you can click this detail and you can view these other invoices. And also, if you want to view that invoices, you can click this detail and you can view the invoice. And you can view the customer balance also. Next, additional contact. Now, when you create the customer, you can enter customer contact details. In addition to that, if you want to add additional contacts, you can add here by clicking this plus mark. You can add more contact details. You can enter contact name, designation, telephone, fax, mobile number, then email address. After that, there are two options: OS invoices, outstanding invoices, and overdue invoices. Now, if you activated this debtors manager module, you can send invoice reminders. So if you want to add outstanding invoice reminders for these additional contacts, or if you want to send overdue invoice reminders for these additional contacts, you can tick this option. Okay. Now, if you activated outstanding invoice reminders or debtors manager module, you can directly send outstanding invoice reminders and overdue invoice reminders for this contact detail. And if you want to include that outstanding invoice reminders and overdue invoice reminders to these additional contacts, you can tick this option. Okay, then system will send outstanding invoice reminders and overdue invoice reminders to these additional contacts also. Next, notes. You can add notes here, or you can attach any documents here. And if you reach this action date, system will display in dashboard. Okay. Now, for an example, if you have any agreements with your customers, you can attach that customer documents to this customer. You can attach up to 2 MB and maximum 5 attachments. So after you attach documents, you can anytime you can view that agreement. So you can maintain your office as a paperless office, and also if you want to add any other details, such as if you are arranging any meetings with customer, you can add note here. And when you reach this action date, it will display in the dashboard. Next, user-defined fields. Now, you can enter customer details here. In addition to that, if you want to add more details, you can enter here. And you can customize these labels. You can add that customer birthday, customer NIC, like those details you can enter here. You can customize or rename these labels from company settings. Go to company, change company settings, user defined fields, and select customer. From here, you can edit your user defined field names. Next, personal information. System will ask how many years you will keep this customer information. So if you want, you can extend. Actually, this is because of Data Protection Act. So if you want, you can extend this period. Next, sales graph. From here, you can view your monthly sales, comparing it last year and this year. Next, quotes. You can view customer quotations, customer sales orders, and invoices, unpaid invoices. Then report layout. So you can design your customer invoices from the system. There's a different app. This from this app. You can design your customer layouts, purchase orders, quotations, sales orders. So we will discuss this designing part in next session. After you design any layout, you can select that layout from here. Okay. After you enter details, you can save. And when you are creating customers, you can enter customer details under details and additional contacts and notes, user-defined fields. Other tabs details will fill from the system. Okay. This activity, personal information, sales graphs, codes, sales orders, invoices, these details will fill from the system. Okay. After you create your customers, you can view your customers from list of customers. Go to customers, list of customers. From here, system will display your list of customers. Okay. From here also you can create customer, click add a customer, or you can create customers directly from add a customer. Right. After you create customers, you can view your list of customers, and you can customize this grid by clicking this customize grid, and you can tick columns from here. If you required any column, you can tick here. If you want to remove any column, you can untick that column heading here, and you can save. Right. Next, you can sort this grid by ascending or descending order. You can sort by clicking headings, and you can sort by ascending or descending order. Next, you can export this customer list to CSV file, and you can sort multi-columns. And if you want, you can filter. And if you want to search any customer, you can search. Right, like that, you can customize this list of customers. And also, if you want to delete any customer, by ticking this customer name, you can delete. And if you have any transactions for these customers, you cannot delete that customers. Okay. Furthermore, now after you create your customer, sometimes you need to do any changes more than one customer. If you want to change any customer, one customer, you can straight away open that customer, and you can change category or price list or tax rate, or else sometimes more than one customer you need to change. Assume 5 customers. So in that case, you can select all 5 customers here. And now if you want to inactivate those customers, you can go select this mark as active or inactive, untick, and save. Then those customers will inactivate it. If you want to activate all, you can tick again and tick and save. Then again, those customers will activate. Furthermore, you select these customers and click update, and from here you can update that category. Now here this customer has first 2 customers don't have any category, and 4th one also no category. So if you want to add category, you can select category here from update, and after that from category, say we want to add those customers category as accounting software. Customer category is it's like a customer group, so we will select accounting software and save. Now you can see that customers category has changed to accounting software. Okay, we'll do it again. select those customers, select update, select category, and assume you want to change to audit firm and save. Right, like that, it will change. Right, next, if you want to change, you can change sales rep. Now no sales rep for this customer. Right, now that sales rep has changed. Like that, you can select more than one customer and select update, and you can select that auto allocate, electronic invoices, statement distribution, discount percentage, default tax type, default price list. Those details you can select update section, and from here you can select the relevant changes. You can select, then it will change accordingly. Right, next we will move to list of sales reps. You can create sales rep from here, and created sales reps you can view from here. And if you want to add sales rep, by clicking this add sales rep, you can add sales rep. Enter first name, last name, email, and telephone mobile. And also, if you want to add their sales rep agreements or sales reps commission status, you can add, or you can attach files from here. By clicking this plus mark. You can add sales rep attachments. Created sales reps you can view from here. Next, customer categories. You can create customer categories from here by clicking add category. You can enter the category name and you can save. These categories also you can sort by ascending or descending order. Okay, next we will move to customer transactions. Okay, first we will move to customer quotes, customer quotations. You can create customer quotations here. Now, before you enter transactions, you can set these document numbers from company settings. Go to company, change company settings, document and statements, document numbers. From here, you can set document number, quotation number, sales order number, invoice number. You can set from here. Only once you need to set here. After that, system will automatically increase the serial of that transaction. Okay, now for an example, if you enter INV001 here for invoices, then when you are creating next invoice, system will automatically pick that number as INV002, like that. For quotations, sales orders, customer invoices, credit notes, customer receipts, system will automatically pick the number from the system. Right. We will go to quotations. After you go to transaction, select customer codes and select add quote. From here, you can select your customer. After you select the customer, system will display balance, customer tax reference number, credit limit, customer delivery address and postal address. Then you can enter your items here. Okay, now you can see there's a discount percentage. Now, when you are creating your customers, you can enter default. Discount rate. That rate will apply here. Now here, 10% discount. So here you can see 10% discount. If you want, you can change when processing the transaction. After that, you can select items. And you can enter the price here. Okay. Or else when you are creating item, if you have set the prices, system will automatically display the price. And after that, you can select the item and you can enter quantity and you can process the invoice. Okay. You can select the customer. After you select the customer, system will display balance and tax number, credit limit, and address. And if you have assigned any sales rep, system will display that sales rep. And system will display that discount percentage. And you can set a quotation expiry date for that customer. Next, you can select items, enter quantity. If you have entered that price, item price, system will automatically display. Or if you want to manually enter that price, you can enter manually. The system will calculate totals, tax. After that, you can directly email this invoice to your customer, or you can print, or you can save. Okay, next, we will discuss other options. Now, from here, from type, you can select item, account, time, or bundle. If you select item, you can select your physical items. If you select account, you can select your GL accounts. Or when you select time, you can select time. And if you select bundle item, you can select your bundle item. We will discuss this bundle item when we discuss item module. Now, from here, if you have many components of a particular item, you can create those items as a bundle item. For an example, if you are selling computers, that computer has monitor, keyboard, mouse, speakers, system unit, that's a component. So you can create a bundle item for that one. And after you select that bundle item, system will automatically display other items. Like that, you can select or you can change this type from here. Next, use inclusive exclusive amount. If you tick this option, system will display. I'll remove these items. Now here, 8% VAT available, and I'll enter exclusive price as 10,000. Now, if you untick this option, system will display exclusive amount. If you tick this option, system will display inclusive amount, that is with tax amount. If you untick, it will display exclusive amount. And under customer reference, you can enter any that if that customer send any request for send a quotation, you can enter that reference number as a customer reference. And you can view these default messages. Now, when you are doing that company settings, document and statements, document messages, here the quotation validity period is 30 days. Therefore, it will display here. Next, go to options. You can view gross profit here. Item code, item description, average cost, exclusive price, gross profit percentage. You can view from here. And there are two options, average cost and last cost. If you select average cost, system will display gross profit based on average cost. If you select last cost, it will display average gross profit based on last purchase price. And if it is not display, that GP not available in your system, you can go to administration, go to user control. From here, you can select your name and click permissions. Go to customers. Customer tax invoices, select or tick view GP on invoices, quotes, and sales orders. By default, this is a untick, therefore you cannot view. So if you want to view GP or gross profit, you can tick this option and save. Next, quote history. We will save this quote. And we'll open again. And I'll change the price to 15,000 and save. After that, I'll open again the quotation. Go to options, quote history. Now here you can view that quotation history, created date. If any user edited this quotation, you can view from edited. Next, show user-defined fields. By clicking this show user-defined fields, you can enter user-defined fields. Next, document attachments. If you want, you can attach documents. You can attach up to 2 MB and you can attach maximum 5 attachments. Next, document notes. If you want to add any document notes, you can add from here. You can select action date and you can enter document note. Right. Next, there are few status: accepted, decline, invoice, and these. Now, after you send the quotations to your customers, customer may accept that quotation, or sometimes customer may decline that quotation, or sometimes they send the purchase order for that quotation and you will invoice. So if that customer accepted that quotation, you can select accepted, or if that customer rejected that quotation, you can select decline. Next, you can convert this quotation to invoice, and you can convert to recurring invoice. And if you want to convert this quotation to sales order, you can select this create sales order. Or if you want to copy same invoice, you can copy same quotation. You can copy this quotation by clicking this copy quote. After you create these quotations, you can view list of quotations. You can view customer name, document number, customer reference, date, expiry date, total, status, and sales rep. And you can customize this list of quotations by clicking this customize grid. You can tick selected or wanted columns. You can tick. If you want to remove any column, you can untick that column. And you can export this list to CSV file. And you can sort by multi-column. Like this, you can sort. And if you want, you can filter. And you can search. Right. And there are few status: invoice, expired, declined, invoice, accepted. Now, after you send a quotation to your customer, if the customer accepted that quotation, you can change the status to accepted. And if the customer declined the quotation, you can change the status to decline. And also, after you send the quotations, is customer not given any feedback, and it will now if you expired that expiry date reach, it will change to expired. And if you invoice that quotation, it will change, status will change to invoice. And that after you send any quotation and still customer has not given any feedback and we haven't reached the expiry date, in that case status will change to pending. And also you can sort this list of quotations by clicking these headings. You can sort by ascending or descending order. Next, there are a few buttons. After you tick any quotation, these buttons will activate. If you want to delete any quotation, you can delete, or if you want to print, you can print. By selecting more than one quotation, you can print or email, and you can update status from here, accepted, decline, invoiced, and save. Then the status will change. Next, from actions, you can preview the quotation, you can print, email, or if you want to edit, you can edit that quotation. You can delete, you can update status, create invoice, create sales order, create quote, or you can view the history. Okay, like that, you can create your quotations. Next, we will move to customer sales orders. Now, the main purpose of this sales order is after you send quotation, if that customer is agreed to purchase that items, you can convert that quotation to sales order, and by creating sales orders, you can reserve that quantity for that customer. Okay, now you can send the quotation. After that, customer accepted that quotation, you can create sales order. And after you create sales order, those items will reserve for that customer. Okay, and also there's an option that under company settings, go to company, change company settings, general settings, select item settings, and here sales orders reserve item quantities. If you tick this option, that sales orders quantities will be reserved. Okay, if you untick, system will not reserve sales order quantities. If you tick this option, system will reserve that sales order quantities. And also, when you enter any transaction, customer codes, sales order, or invoice, you can view reserved quantity and quantity on hand. Okay. From here, you can view reserved quantity and quantity on hand. Right. Next, we will enter sales order. Go to customers, transactions, customer sales orders. After that, click add sales order. From here, you can select your customer. After you select the customer, system will display customer balance, customer credit limit, tax number, the postal address, sales rep, and default discount. From here, you can select items. Now you can see this reserved quantity and quantity on hand, and can enter quantity. If you have enterprises when you are creating item, the price will display here. And after that, you can save this sales order. Okay, sometimes in your company, you may follow customer quotation, next sales order, and after that, customer invoice, or sometimes sales order, then invoice, or you can directly enter the invoice. Now, assume in your company, you will enter customer quotation. After that, you will enter sales order. In that case, you can go to customers, transaction, and you can select that customer. After you select the customer, from quote, you can select that quotations if you have entered to that customer, and you can select that customer. Then those items in the quotation will display in the screen. So you don't want to enter that items again. You can directly convert that quotation to sales order. After that, you can save. Or else you can go to transaction customer codes and select the quotation and click create sales order. Then all these details will fill from the system. You can save or print this sales order. Right. Next, we will discuss these additional features. You can view exclusive amount or inclusive amount, and from options you can view gross profit based on average cost or last cost, and you can view sales order history. You can view show user-defined fields. You can enter user-defined fields here. Next, document attachment. If you want to attach in documents, you can attach here. Next, document notes. You can enter document notes. And if you want to create invoice, or if you want to convert the sales order to invoice, you can convert from here. Next, copy sales order. If you want to convert, copy the same sales order by clicking this copy sales order, you can copy another sales order. Okay, after you create your sales orders, you can view your sales orders from here, list of sales orders. And you can view customer, document number, customer reference, date, delivery date, total discount, total amount, status, sales rate. And you can customize this customer sales order grid by clicking this customize grid. And you can tick required columns, and you can untick if you want to remove any column. And from status, you can view that invoice. That means that sales order we have converted to an invoice. Then pending is we have entered sales orders, however we haven't reached the delivery date. Next, overdue means we have reached the delivery date, however we haven't sent the goods to our customers. And here also you can select more than one sales order, and if you want to delete, print or email. And you can convert to CSV file. You can sort multi-column, and you can filter, and you can search like that. You can search your customer sales orders. Okay, like that you can create sales orders. You can create sales orders from customers. Go to transactions, go to customer sales orders, and click add a sales order. Or you can go to customer codes, and by clicking these actions, you can click or select create sales order. Okay, we will wrap up for today. Next session, we will start from customer invoice. Okay, right. Next, we will move to customer invoice. Go to customers, transactions, select customer tax invoices, and by clicking add a tax invoice, you can create your tax invoices. Okay. First select your customer name. After select your customer, system will display customer balance, customer credit limit, customer tax number, and customer addresses. And if you have assigned any sales rep, system will display that sales rep, and system will display layout to set to that customer. And if you have given any credit period for that customer, system will calculate the due date, and system will display the default discount. Okay, we will go to that customer, go to list of customer, open that customer. So now here we have entered credit limit 150,000. That credit limit will display here. Customer address will display here, and we have given 45 days credit period. That therefore system will calculate due date, and we have entered 10% discount. System will display this 10% discount. Okay, right. Next, we can enter items for this invoice. Go to selection, and from drop down menu, you can select items. You can enter amount, or if you have entered amount when you are creating custom items, system will display that items prices. And when you are select items, you can view item code, item description, reserved quantity, and quantity on hand. And also sometimes if you have lengthy description, you cannot view that reserved quantity and quantity on hand. In that case, you can drag this window. Then you can view that item description, quantity reserved, and quantity on hand. And also sometimes you may have service items. In that case, system will not display quantity on hand or reserved quantity for those service items. Right. Now from here you can select items, and you can process this invoice. If you have taxes for that item, system will calculate the tax, and if you have given any discount, system will display the discount. Now you can give discount in two methods. One is one discount percentage for all items, or sometimes you may give different discount rate for different items. For now, if you are giving any one discount rate for all items, you can enter discount rate here, or you can enter discount rate for each item, or sometimes you may give different discount rates for different items. In that case, you can enter that discount rate here. Okay. Or if you are giving discount amount or discount percentage, you are giving discount amount, you can enter under discount. Or if you are giving any percentage, you can enter the percentage. Like that, you can enter discount rates or discount percentage. Next, if you have any analysis codes, you may have branches, departments, cost centers, projects. So in that case, you can create that analysis codes from analysis codes, and you can link that analysis codes when you are creating invoices. And after that, you can generate profit and loss report based on that analysis code. For an example, if you have departments, you can view your profitability report, profit and loss report, by selecting analysis code. Go to reports, financial statements, select profit and loss, and select date range. I'll select all date range, and from here group by, you can select analysis code, select your analysis code. Here I'll generate from department wise profitability report, view report. Here you can view department wise profitability report. So you can link this analysis code here, your branch, department, project, or job here. After that, this will link to your relevant analysis code. So after that, you can generate a profitability report based on your analysis code. Next, now for an example, sometimes you may need to enter additional details for these items. In that case, by clicking this file mark, you can add those details. Now for an example, if you want to add serial number, you can enter serial number here and you can save. After that, you can search from by serial number. Okay, like that, you can search by typing here and you can search. Here also, if you want to view inclusive amount or exclusive amount, you can view from here. And if you enter any additional details, this color will change to blue. Next, we will move to options. From here, you can view your gross profit, average cost or last cost. Then you can view invoice history. You can view show user-defined fields. And you can view or you can attach documents. You can add document notes. And if your customer promise to pay any particular day, you can add that anticipated payment dates. For enter anticipated payment date, you need to save. Then if you want to create recurring invoice, you can create recurring invoice. Next, we will discuss that recurring invoice. After that, if you want to add credit note for this invoice, you can enter credit note. And if you want to create credit note or re-invoice, you can click this credit note and re-invoice, and you can re-invoice. If you want to create any receipt for this invoice, you can create receipt. And if you want to copy the same invoice, you can copy invoice by clicking this copy invoice. Okay. After that, you can view your list of invoices from here. And from this grid, you can customize from here, and you can export to CSV file. You can sort by multi-columns, and you can search, you can filter, and you can search invoices. Okay, we will wrap up for today, and we will discuss additional features in tax invoice in next session. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice weekend.